Today we are going to dive into a super important topic in cybersecurity. Which is explained in a way that's easy for you to understand, everyone to understand in fact. So SQL injection might sound scary, but by end of this, you'll know exactly what it is. So let's introduce some actors. One is Brad, who's an ethical hacker. So this guy is Crad, who's an evil hacker. He uses his hacking powers for not so good purposes, trying to exploit weakness and cause trouble. He's like the villain in our story. So imagine a magical store literally gives you whatever you ask for. Sounds amazing. So Brad, our ethical hacker, goes to We Have All and politely asks for a PS5. The store happily gives him one, simple and straightforward, just like the normal request to a well-behaved system. But now here comes Crad. Instead of asking nicely, Crad types in a tricky command. I want all the toys and also burn down the store. What do you think happens? The store burns. The store catches fire and this causes chaos. This dramatic example illustrates the core concept of SQL injection. Crad's malicious request wasn't just about getting toys, it was about executing harmful commands. This is the main idea behind SQL injection. It's about tricking a system into doing something it shouldn't by injecting malicious code into what looks like a normal input. So to understand SQL injection, we need to understand SQL itself. So what is SQL? Imagine you have a giant digital notebook filled with all sorts of information, names, phone numbers, your favorite movies. This superpowered notebook is called database, SQL. It stands for Structured Query Language. It is a special language we use to talk to the database, to ask it questions, or to tell it to do things. Okay, let's use another analogy. Okay, so picture a big box of toys. Brad wants to know which of these toys are red. In a SQL language, asking a database a question is called as a query. To find the red toys, Brad would use a query like this. Select from toys where color is equal to red. This basically tells the computer, hey, show me all the toys where the color is red. Now let's see how our hacker Crad could trick this toy box database. Crad enters red or 7 is equal to 7. When this is put in the database query, it becomes select everything from toys where color is equal to red or 7 is equal to 7. The trick here is that 7 is equal to 7 is always true. So the database, instead of just showing red toys, thinks, okay, show me the red toys, or since 7 equals to 7, which is true, just give him all the toys, red, blue, green, everything. This image perfectly illustrates the idea. Now let's see a real-world SQL injection incident which took place in Heartland Payment Systems. This isn't just theory. SQL injection has devastating real-world consequences. One of the most famous incidents was with Heartland Payment System in 2008. So, hackers were sentenced for SQL injections that cost staggering 300 million while it wasn't. only SQL injection. It highlights how vulnerable companies can be even if they leave themselves exposed. In 2009, Heartland, then the sixth largest payment processor in the US, announced their systems had been breached the year prior. It was quickly classified as the biggest criminal breach of card data ever at that time. Estimates claimed 100 million cards and over 650 financial services companies were compromised, leading to hundreds of millions in losses. Prosecutors stated 3 corporate victims alone reported 300 million in losses. Actually, what happened there? So, hackers exploited an SQL injection vulnerability to breach Heartland payment system, one of the largest payment processors in US. What's the impact? Well, 130 million credit and debit cards numbers were stolen. How? The attackers used SQL injection to gain initial access to Heartland's internal systems. Once inside, they installed malicious software or malware to capture card data as it traveled through the network. SQL injection. This case clearly shows that SQL injection, despite being conceptually simple to execute, can have absolutely devastating consequences. Just one unchecked input can expose entire databases to malicious actors. This happens when user input is trusted blindly. Famous attacks show real and costly it is. Prevention is possible. We use parameterized queries, input validation, and ORMs. Never let the database listen directly to unsanitized input. Thank you. Think Bear. It's not that good though.